Welcome back, folks. This is Jay Furry, and today we're going to take a look at the fourth iteration of EndGame's XM1. I purchased both of the Dark Frost and Dark Reflex to give you my impressions on the matte and gloss finish on both of these, so let's jump right in. Coming in at $59.99, the XM1R is going to be the same size and almost identical weight to the previous models. We're looking at 122 millimeters long, as well as a grip width of 58 millimeters right around the sensor, and it flares out to 62 millimeters. And then as the height, we're looking at 38 millimeters. It is definitely a claw grip mouse. You can fingertip it as well as palm it, but I would say if you're going to palm it, you're going to want to have small hands. My hand size is 19 by 10, and it is perfect for an aggressive or relaxed claw grip. It does come in at 71 grams for both the Reflex and Frost, so the different surfaces make no difference in the weight whatsoever. If you're someone that's used the Zowie S1, S2, the Cooler Master MM710 or 711 Cat Burst Pro, you owe it to yourself to give this shape a try, as it is definitely one that I feel that the Burst Pro definitely had a lot of influence from in its inception, as I do think the XM1 is kind of the pinnacle of claw grip at this point in time. For the longest time, I did use your egg shapes like your G Pro wired, your G303, even the G305, and those egg shapes are fantastic for a claw grip, but I will say that once you get your hands on the XM1, it's really no comparison. That flare out at the rear end here is just overall a fantastic shape when it comes to any sudden changes in your grip. When you need to go to a fingertip or anything like that, it kind of latches on to your fingers there, and it's just overall super comfortable. So if you used an XM1 in the past, you would have used the black or white edition that was only available, and it came in that dry coated, almost like chalky feel to it. And folks much preferred the white edition as it kind of hid the fingerprints better than the black. Well, you can still get it in the black or white, but now also the Dark Frost edition, which is a semi-transparent gray shell. And it does offer a very visible outline of the skeletal structure of the mouse. And I think that sets off a really cool vibe. Growing up playing Game Boy Advance and whatnot, you always got those translucent atomic purple shells, and it really reminds me of that, and I dig this style a lot. I'd like to see this with other mice, but as far as the grip goes on this type of surface, if you're someone that does have a tendency to sweat a little bit, you definitely want to go with a dry surface like this. However, if sweat is not a concern to you and you're looking for the most grip possible, then you can do no wrong with a glossy surface, as it does offer that very sticky grip to it. I'm not sure if this is actually like coated or it's just polished plastic, but either way, I actually prefer this over the Frost edition. It just feels really natural to me. I think mainly because I used the S2 Divina for so long, and then I went right into the new glossy version of the MP01. The gloss definitely looks really sharp, and you can still get that semi-transparent look. However, you can see in the lighting all of the oil from my fingerprints. So if you're someone that's a little bit of a stickler or that bothers you, you're definitely not going to want to get this, or at least you can always clean it up. On the early last year edition of the V2, it came with a 3389 sensor, as well as Omron 50mm clicks on both 1 and 2, and they were sufficient. It was kind of average for the time to have specs of that nature on a premium mouse. Now going into 2021, the Cal GM 8.0 switches are in mouse 1 and 2. They feel fantastic. I love the rebound on them, and they are a transparent black, which is a very reminiscent look to the XM1R look, so I'm wondering if EndGame took a cue from that and applied it to the design of this new installment. And on the bottom, we do have a 3370 sensor, the brand new sensor from PixArt, which is the improved version of the 3389. It does have a standard liftoff distance of only 1 millimeter. If you use the software, you can bump that up to 2 millimeters. So that is an improvement over the 3389, as I believe default lowest was right around 2 mil. So that's really nice to see. And on the actual scroll wheel and the side buttons here, they are using TTC micro switches and then a Cal standardized switch for the scroll wheel with an ALPS encoder. Now, the one issue I do have with these buttons before I get into a sound test is going to be the post travel. On the V2 that I've spent many hours on, it does have post travel, but not anything incredibly noticeable. And then you go into both my reflex and frost copies, you're engaging and it goes all the way into the shell, especially the back side button. So it's kind of disappointing to see because you can definitely feel the plastic flexing. And I don't know if this is maybe just an issue with the launch copies. I did purchase my copies again, so this wasn't like a weird sample that was sent out to me. It's just kind of disappointing to see the improvements on the switches, but the actual side buttons are lacking that tactility and sturdiness to it. Let's go ahead and give you that sound test. Out of the box, the XM1r is going to come with 4 small feet. As you see here, it's going to be similar to what you might have experienced on the V2 version of the mouse. They are going to have sharp edges, but it's not going to be anything that's impactful on the surface play as they are tapered. And it also is a gloss cutout on the undershell, so it allows you to also use these larger feet that are reminiscent of your Zowie mouse. And it's really nice that EndGame actually includes these, as I do prefer them over the standard ones that do come with it. And with that taper, it does have a nice smooth glide. I've been maining the Aqua Control Plus, and I have not had any concerns whatsoever with the glide on these feet. The flex cord that is now on the XM1r is their 2.0 version, and it's going to be a tad stiffer than the one that was found on the V2 that really kind of took the industry by storm with how flexible it could be. I don't want you to think that as a negative thing though. It is just more structurally sound, so it is more durable, and it still does offer flexibility, but you can obviously see here with it bending and creasing with movement, it's definitely not going to be in the same vein of the old one. So hopefully down the line we'll be able to have technology where we can shield the wire to protect it fully while also offering a really good flexible cable. So in conclusion, I actually really do like what EndGame is doing with their XM1 family of mice, similar to what Zowie has done by having a base foundation and then slowly improving it with brand new releases, as opposed to something like a stealth improvement or update on the G Pro Wireless that Logitech did, and everyone's scrounging around at retailers looking for the updated batch by looking into the serial number and the origin of manufacturing. This makes it very black and white which model you're getting, and I have to applaud them for that. It's almost like an approach that Apple has done as well, and I for one do like it. I know some folks don't, but at the end of the day, no matter what model you get of the EndGame XM1, if you grip with a claw style, I think you owe it to yourself to give this mouse a try because it is still such a fantastic mouse. But that's it for me. I'm Jafer. I do appreciate you watching the video. If you did like it, please throw a like, and of course a subscription. By adding yourself to the community here, I know exactly what content I need to bring you guys. And of course, hit me up on Twitter and Discord if you have any questions at all. Until next time, you guys stay safe.